Hello again, I'm Keith with the Rockford Homes How-To Series. Today we're going to discuss caulking. Now we've all been in home improvement stores and we've seen the slew of caulking that you could buy. There's maybe 50 different types. We're going to break it down into two basic types right now for the purpose of this video. And that is that there's a paintable type, and it'll be labeled on the caulk somewhere that it's paintable, and then there's silicone or non-paintable caulking. This will be important because as long as you get a paintable one, you'll always be able to paint over those mistakes. If you get a non-paintable one, in those areas you won't be able to paint. So silicone caulking that you use in those wet areas where you have your shower or your kitchen backsplash, make sure that it's dry and that it's clean. All right, to start off, we're going to cover our basic tools for caulking. That's going to be a caulking gun, a brush or some other utility to get the caulking crack clear, a dry towel to catch any drips that might happen during the time that we're caulking, a wet towel so that we can tool or manipulate the caulking once it's into the crack, and then the type of paintable caulking that we're using for caulking the crack itself. It's a very common area in your stairs where the stringers are, or anywhere that there's movement. Sometimes it's on the outside walls of your home where there's expansion and contraction of the materials. You'll develop small cracks, maybe on the bottom of the trim or at the top of the trim, or anywhere really that there's a seam in it. That's what we'll address with this caulking today. First off, we're going to take our brush. Again, you could use your vacuum cleaner or anything that you want to just get the hair and the dust and the debris out of your current split in your trim. It does a fairly good job of getting that debris out of there. We're going to start by taking our caulking. We're going to use our cutter. Again, you could use a knife or any other utility that you have to cut the tip. But what we want to focus on is getting a diagonal tip cut. The reason that we want that diagonal tip is because we want directionality with our caulking. We want to be able to put that diagonal tip into where the crack is and then chase that diagonal tip down in a method that will then push the caulking into the crack that we want to fill. Next, we're going to take our piercer. Again, this could be a coat hanger, this could be any kind of wire that you have. In my case, it comes with a caulking gun. A caulking gun like this will cost you maybe $8 or $10. It's not all that expensive. We're going to put that into the tip of the caulking. We're going to pierce it several times so that we can breach that membrane that's inside of the tip of the caulking. We're going to take our dry towel, or the wet, it doesn't matter. We're going to clean that off so that that doesn't then get all over our hands while we're trying to do what we're doing with the caulking. My caulking gun is a rear loading caulking gun, where the caulking sets down into the rear of the caulking gun and then drops down into the top. They make top and rear loading caulking guns. In the event that you have a top loading one, there'll be a solid circle in the top of your caulking gun where you'll then insert the tip and you'll drop it down and everything will be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. We're going to depress the handle on the back of the caulking gun. And that's going to bring it up to the caulking and fill the area. And what I like to do is take my first little bit just to get it started on my dry towel. And I'm going to go ahead and squirt a little bit onto the dry towel. And that lets me know that I've got caulking flow to the tip where I want it, and also gets any of the debris that came off of my poker that got inside of the caulking so that I can have a good fresh caulking. Okay, this is where our wet towel is going to come in. So we're going to take the wet towel, have it nearby, directionality again and flow. We're going to put that tip directly into where we want the crack to fill. We're going to apply some constant, even pressure to the caulking gun. You can stop and start again with your caulking along the way, whatever's most comfortable for you. We're going to take the wet rag. I'm just going to wet my finger a little bit. What that's going to do is that's going to allow my finger to then smooth out the caulking without the caulking getting stuck on my finger and causing drag marks. We're going to come in and we're going to tool that caulking out real nice and smooth. Then we've got our dry towel over here. We can wipe that on the dry towel and get the excess off with the wet towel. And then we've achieved what we've gone out to happen, which is a beautiful well-caulked surface.